What's up, y'all? I'm J.Max. Welcome back to my channel. This is J.Max Reax, and today I'm watching a video that says how Umbrella turned Rihanna into a superstar. This is by The Groove. Let's see what they have to say.
In the mid-2000s, Barbadian singer Rihanna was among the new it girls seeking to make it big in mainstream music. She had already released 2 studio albums, and while she was already known by the general public, there were still questions about who she was as an artist and whether or not the fair bit of success she met with at the beginning of her career was just a fluke. But that was until the release of Umbrella, the debut single of her 3rd album, Good Girl Gone Bad. In a few months, the song would do more for her career than her 2 previous album releases and help make her one of the most sought-after pop stars in the music industry. Throughout the 2000s, the pop R&B landscape was very crowded and submerged with a wide range of more or less well-known faces. It was particularly the case in the mid-2000s, which had mature music acts who enjoyed continued success, most notably Mariah Carey and Mary J. Blige, newly established superstars who had burst onto the scene towards the beginning of the decade, such as Jennifer Lopez and Alicia Keys, and a roster of up-and-coming female singers that included, among others, Keisha Cole, Ciara, Amory, Nelly Furtado, Tia Marie, and Rihanna herself. R&B's most solidly established music act was Beyoncé, who had 2 strong solo album releases, with a predominantly R&B sound, but had not yet released mainly pop material, as she would on her 3rd album. In regards to pop music, Britney Spears, who had become pop's main female star, was in the middle of a very public breakdown that hindered her career, while the Lady Gagas and Katy Perrys, who would dominate the charts in the late 2000s, had not yet become mainstream. It was the year 2007. By then, Rihanna was a fairly well-known rising star who had already topped the Billboard Hot 100. The talent scouts who recruited her on her home island of Barbados were seduced not so much by her vocal talent, but rather by her quote-unquote girl next door quality. In fact, she allegedly sang off-key during her audition for Jay-Z, but he was impressed by her confidence and determination. In their eyes, she had the quote-unquote X factor, that je ne sais quoi, that cannot be learned or manufactured.
When she walked into our office, I was like, she just had, it was just something about her. She had this, it was just something about it. Then she performed the song, and I was like, okay. Then, we sat down and we talked, and they were talking about how she would stay in the studio and try to get the verse over, and then come back the next day. I was like, oh, work ethic, everything is there. So we signed her that night. We didn't let her leave the office.
Really?
The 3 in the morning was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 3, 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3 in the morning.
But in a highly competitive music industry, charisma could be useful to get noticed, but remained insufficient to build a long-lasting career. In 2005, her journey got off to a flying start as she scored a #2 single in the US with Ponder Replay. The following year, she earned her first #1 single on the Billboard Hot 100 with SOS. By 2007, she had released 2 albums, Music of the Sun and A Girl Like Me. Yet, she was largely viewed as a singles artist able to create hits but not necessarily sell a lot of albums. Her versatility as a performer made each one of her single releases feel distinctive, but the public struggled to perceive a cohesive artistic identity behind her output. Her relative inability to sell albums as opposed to singles would no longer be a major disadvantage given how music marketing was evolving at the time. While discussing the success of Umbrella, Sean Seabrook from The New Yorker explained that music acts like Rihanna benefited from the increasing commercial relevance of singles as opposed to albums in the music industry throughout the 2000s. Back in 2001, Apple launched iTunes, a digital marketplace where it was possible to create a library of music by buying individual songs. It ushered in the age of paper song downloads, creating an incentive for music listeners to buy singles as opposed to albums, thereby rewarding artists who could make a strong impression in the 3 minutes or so a song lasts. Therefore, within that brand new marketing model, it was possible for an artist such as Rihanna to redefine the course of one's career with one single alone. The song Umbrella was created by three men: Tricky Stewart, a producer, Terry Nash, a singer-songwriter also known as The Dream, and Cook Harrell, a vocal producer. Together, they formed a songwriting team at Red Zone Entertainment, a music production company and publishing firm based in Atlanta. Tricky Stewart had his first hit with Who Dat for JT Money, which reached #1 on Billboard's rap chart back in 1999. When he did Me Against the Music for Britney Spears, he seemed poised to enjoy the mainstream chart success that producers like Timbaland and the Neptunes were then enjoying. Yet, for the following 5 years, Red Zone had only small hits until the release of Umbrella. Cook Harrell describes how the song unexpectedly came to be. Quote, "I had gone into the samples and found this hi-hat loop which I'd put on a beat. Then Tricky comes in and says, 'What's that?' End quote. Tricky Stewart sat at a piano and began playing chords into the box over a looped hi-hat and snare sound. Then he composed a bass line. The Dream walked into the studio, listened to the song, and the word umbrella came to mind. He entered the vocal booth and took the microphone, singing Under My Umbrella. He eventually added the crucial echoes that would become the song's trademark hook. Quote, "We knew it was special. We didn't know it was a hit. Nobody knows that." End quote. In his book, The Song Machine, Inside the Hit Factory, Sean Seabrook described what makes the song so special. Quote, "The wonderful title hook is deployed with almost classical restraint, not coming until the refrain at the end of the first chorus. In the studio, the songwriters worked out a bridge for the song. Most urban songs of that period did not have one. In about 2 hours, the song was finished. The inspired trace vocal that The Dream recorded on the demo has all the song's signature elements, from the Caribbean flavor in the Ellas to the lovely concluding hook, 'Coming to Me.'" End quote. But before Umbrella could become a huge hit, it had to get into the hands of a standout candidate. Britney Spears was the most famous artist the group knew personally, since Tricky Stewart co-wrote Me Against the Music, the lead song from her fourth album, In the Zone, back in 2003. Mike Stewart sent a copy of the demo to Britney Spears' manager, but her label Jive rejected the song, claiming that her upcoming album Blackout already had enough content. Tricky Stewart eventually sent L.A. Reid the demo, and he gave it to Rihanna. She told The Ellen Show in 2007, quote, "The first time I heard Umbrella, I just knew how much I loved the song. I thought it had one of the most original sounds of any song that I've ever heard. Eventually, I just went up to the managers and was like, 'This song is mine. I'm going to fight you if I don't have this song.'" End quote. But the Stewarts were reluctant to give the song to Rihanna because she wasn't yet an established star. Quote, "They had to talk us into it," Mike Stewart says. "I remember Grammy weekend, I was being hounded by every label executive to get that record. At parties, people were running up on us everywhere. But L.A. Reid and everyone associated with Rihanna, they were the most passionate." End quote. Finally, after weeks of daily calls from both L.A. Reid and Jay-Z, the team agreed to give Umbrella to Rihanna, and she eventually recorded the vocals with production by Cook Harrell. In retrospect, Rihanna may have been the perfect vocalist to sing the song and give it its full character. In the eyes of some critics, the lyrics would have felt too sentimental with another performer, and the song's sparse beats and dramatic strings may not have worked without Rihanna's sass and grit. After Rihanna finished her vocals, she asked her mentor and Def Jam label boss Jay-Z to contribute a verse, giving the song an extra bit of swagger that made it sound edgier and made the tune perfect for hits radio. The rain-related theme also made the song a particularly good candidate for a music video. After pitching a few ideas to Rihanna and Jay-Z, director Chris Applebaum, who had already worked with Rihanna on the music video for SOS, was given just 1 hour to come up with ideas. He recalled in an interview with Genius, quote, "I drove up to the house, sat in the living room, spread out a bunch of photo references. I had a bunch of rain images, silver and gold body paint. They said don't be afraid to go out there with it. It doesn't even need to make sense, so long as it had a thematic thread. They liked it right away. Rihanna called me and said, 'I love it. I think it's great.'" End quote. Rihanna told Chris Applebaum she wanted to incorporate a dance routine with an umbrella a nod to Gene Kelly's famous dance sequence in Singing in the Rain. Applebaum combined that idea with his memories of the Super Bowl of motocross videos of the 70s that featured motorcycle drums and exploding cannons. The video's opening alone marked a strong departure from the so-called girl next door persona Rihanna had shown in music videos like Unfaithful or We Ride, and introduced a darker and edgier version of her, the good girl gone bad. Follows a series of compelling visual moments demonstrating a high level of sophistication, the solo routine, with the CGI water, the Gene Kelly-inspired dance sequence, the nude poses with silver body paint, and the rainstorm of sparks at the end. Umbrella got its official release on March 29, 2007. The song topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 consecutive weeks and paved the way for the multi-platinum success of Rihanna's coming-of-age album, Good Girl Gone Bad. The video for Umbrella received 4 nominations for MTV's 2007 Video Music Awards and won for Video of the Year. Rihanna performed Umbrella at the 2008 Grammys, and later that night, she and Jay-Z received the award for Best Song Collaboration. Worldwide success quickly followed. Umbrella stayed at the top of the UK charts for 10 weeks and has sold more than 6 million copies worldwide. In the eyes of Sean Seabrook, 11 rhythmic syllables did what the 2 previous albums together had not done. They defined Rihanna as an artist. Quote, "She was chilly and warm at the same time, caring and not caring. She had swag, with a dash of island flavor, but she also had a heart. The song is remarkably tender, considering that men wrote it for a woman." He concludes that Umbrella marks the arrival of something new in pop, a digital icon. In the rock era, when the album was the standard unit of recording music, listeners had 10 or 12 songs to get to know the artist. But in the singles-oriented contemporary music market, the artist has just about 3 or 4 minutes to convey their individuality, and Rihanna is unrivaled in this regard. In 2007, Rihanna found herself at an opportune moment in a highly competitive music landscape where it was challenging for emerging music acts to stand out. But she was able to change the course of her career by redefining her sound and overall persona thanks to only one song. Her status as a singles-first artist, for which she received criticism at the earliest stage in her career, would turn out to be a winning formula in the music industry's digital era, which rewarded artists able to make a strong impression on shorter formats. Before Umbrella, she was a Caribbean pop artist. Then, she made pure pop records, then EDM pop with superstar producer Calvin Harris, and in an ultimate attempt to challenge herself, she released the daring album Anti in 2016, proving that she could also create and sell compelling full-length albums. In retrospect, Umbrella is the bedrock of everything Rihanna would later become known and celebrated for: an edgy persona, an ability to add unique character and grit to her songs, and a chameleon-like presence, displaying different facets of herself on screen, all with an uncanny sense of style and confidence.
So that was really, really good. I enjoyed that one. I was quiet a lot during that one because this was more just picked it to watch it. I think we all know that that was one of the defining moments in her career. She definitely has had some incredible music before that and after that. I'm not always huge in like the singles when it comes to an artist. I like to listen to the full body of work, and she is one. None of her albums, in my opinion, have ever missed. People just weren't hip to her or paying attention to her until Umbrella, and like that was a huge ass hit. You couldn't help but pay attention to that. But yeah, this was a good one. My favorite Rihanna album, it teeters really. It's between Talk That Talk and Rated R. I think people slept on Rated R a little bit because it was so incredible. My favorite song by her, period, is probably Photographs with will.i.am. I just love how different that song was in terms of what that album was and how it just stood out in this really, really soft and just crazy way. will.i.am was in his bag as a producer that year. The songs that he produced and the sound that he was doing, it was just a great feeling vibe. But yeah, I think, that's like my favorite. Yeah, I think Rated R is Talk That Talk is really, Talk That Talk is my favorite album, but Photographs is probably my favorite song. That or Desperado. I love Desperado, but this was a good video. I love the Grooves content. Let me know what you thought about this one below. What's your favorite Riri song? What's your favorite album? Tell me in the comments. Peace.